So guys, I wanted to do a quick video talking a little bit about some of the answers that we had from the community managers about some subjects. There are some very interesting things to come very soon. Of course, be aware that we are very close to an update, so the new update will probably be intertwined with some of these stuff that we're going to talk about, okay? So we start off with the first one. The first one is an answer from the information regarding Thai sub-3 and Chinese vehicles. Basically, we had that post that a lot of people were complaining or asking for stuff or, giving their feedback. So they answered that, thank you for the feedback, basically saying, right? And that they are reviewing the feedback regarding the consideration for Singaporean vehicles, right? Very interesting, of course. I would assume that I even said that in the video that I did talking about that post, that they probably will reconsider a lot of things because of the comments that would be made there, right? And apparently they are doing. So, one thing that we have to draw from this is that they say that they aim to provide a detailed update in the next community update news coming soon. So this is the first thing. There is a new community update coming very soon, which is pretty great. Every time they do that, it is, basically a great way for them to connect with the community and tell what they're planning with the future. With that in mind, I posted this as well, which is basically somebody is asking about if the community manager post will come tomorrow or this week, basically, right? And he says that not this week currently, subject to change. Of course, we might see it depending on some things, but probably not this week. So this, later this week maybe, or next week, we will see the community post coming up, which is great to hear. Like I said, it is something that I love to see. They talk about the future, they talk about fixing stuff. It's always nice to have a way to connect with the developers, and the community posts are always a good one. They even said during the weekend that they do indeed have another CM update in the works. So we are very close to that. Let's just wait and see when it's coming. Another question that he answered is that if they have any information about the video with answers to questions from BVVD. Of course, BVVD is Vyacheslav, I think it's called. He's called. But it is basically one of the lead people inside Gaijin that choose stuff on War Thunder, right? Not choose, basically manages, War Thunder. And apparently there is a video coming up. He probably talked about this in the Russian stream in the last, update cycle. But basically his main answers that they will announce it clearly when that is. But it takes a little bit of time, or a fair amount of time, he says, to process and prepare everything. Of course, they need to collect all the questions, have the best ones answered, etc., make the video. So it takes a little bit of time, but it's great to hear that not only we are getting a community manager post very soon, we are also getting some form of video or some form of answer, Q&A or something like that coming from BVVD itself. The more we have that, the better. So if Gaijin is listening to this, do this more often, once a month. It doesn't need to be a video or something like that, but do a community post once a month. Do Q&As, do polls and stuff. So it always helps the community, right? So yeah. Then we have another one that it's talking a little bit about how it is possible that more Indonesian vehicles may come to the Japanese tech tree, but for now, not a full sub-tree. So an Indonesian sub-tree is not coming for the Japanese for now, but we might receive new and vehicles like that in the future. I think it's kind of interesting because Indonesia, of course, has the ability to use flankers, for example, and MiGs and stuff. At the same time, Western stuff, right? And with that in mind, it is kind of a very interesting sub-tree to be added for Japan because you would have uniqueness to that tech tree. But at the same time, would have kind of the same vehicles from other ones, which takes it down a little bit on the uniqueness factor, right? So I don't know, but they're saying that we might see these vehicles when needed. I think it's great to have this kind of line of thinking. For now, at least, just add the vehicles that are the most interesting ones, for us to actually have it in that BR kind of situation where the Japanese needs an option of a tank, of a helicopter or something, a jet or an aircraft in general, without, full pulling a sub-tree onto that tech tree, right? Of course, the Singaporean vehicles, I don't think they're really needed, in the Chinese tech tree, to be honest. I think China is a very large country that has plenty of vehicles. But like I said, in the Indonesian, they basically deny it for now, sub-tree. In the Singaporean, they didn't deny it. They kind of are planning to add these vehicles to China, right? So, yeah. But we need to wait for the next community update, like I was saying before, for us to actually have more information on this matter. And the last one that we're going to talk about is that Smin answered a little bit about helicopters. So, basically, in a previous post, they mentioned that they were trying, in this last update, to add more fire and forget missiles, missile helicopters or missiles that were fire and forget to nations that didn't have it. Of course, we had the AGM-179 for the US, the LMUR for the Russians, the CM-502 for the Chinese. Of course, we already have the Spike missile in many nations. We have the PARS. So, in a general sense, like 5 or 6 nations have these missiles. I think it's 6, if I'm not mistaken. But now, but there are still, 4 other nations that could maybe receive these. Maybe, I don't know, in the future, right? Or something like that. So, basically, they were, in this last update, they were trying to help those nations that could. But they are saying here today that maybe not every nation can have something like that. That some nations that can have it will have it, especially when there is a sub-tree or something that can be added. There's something that can be done. For example, for Italy, maybe there is a Hungarian or Romanian helicopter that could have that, for example. I don't know if there is, but probably not. But still, if there is, maybe they can add it. But if there isn't, like Sweden, they say probably nothing will be done because there's no option, right? So it makes sense. It's what it is. Unfortunately, a lot of these nations will need to keep using Hellfires, which are pretty bad missiles for top tier, right? Compared to these fire and forget ones. But they're still usable if you know what you're doing. It's just a lot harder, right? So let's wait and see how it is implemented in the future. Basically, these are it, guys. These are the most interesting ones, in my opinion. Let me know in the comments what you thought. I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. Thank you all the members and patrons, and bye, guys. See you.